The Blue Jays actually make some moves, signing Yimi Garcia and Kevin Gausman. Gausman for $110 million for 5 years, and Garcia for 2 years, $11 million. This is a big deal. Welcome back to the Blue Jays Recap. I'm your host, Evan, and we are back with another Blue Jays signing video. We are going to do this every single signing, free agency move, and deal this offseason for your Toronto Blue Jays. So if you want to stay intact with the Blue Jays offseason, subscribe, like, and if you have any other things you want to do on this channel, comment it down below. So like I mentioned at the start, we got Kevin Gausman and Yimi Garcia. Gausman is a 30-year-old, turning 31 soon. He was a pitcher for the San Francisco Giants a year ago and helped them a ton. Helped lead them to one of the best pitching teams in the playoffs. Got an all-star appearance last year. Had a 2.81 ERA in the season. Had a 14-6 record. A 241 whip, and a 5.4 WAR on the year. Gausman pitched phenomenal. Obviously, that was our big signing. Obviously, Yimi Garcia wasn't our star free agent, because that would have been a kind of a sad offseason if I say so myself. Gausman has shown that he's good. I think the contract was good for him, right? He's a pitcher. He was in the Cy Young conversation. I don't think he was going to win it, which he didn't. But the guy still pitched amazing. He will make this Blue Jays rotation deadly. Now we did lose, by the way, if you didn't hear, we did lose Robbie Ray to the Seattle Mariners. He signed $115 million for 5 years. We got Garcia for $5 million less, but I think it might have been the right move in the long run. He will work well with Manoah, Ryu, Barrios, and Pearson, or Stripling. We don't know yet. He is a righty pitcher, which is a bit of not good thing, I guess. Ryu now is the only Ryu and Stripling, I guess, are the only left-handed arms on our team for starting pitching. Not the best, but we still have a good pitching roster. Barrios, obviously a phenomenal year last year. Pitched amazing. We signed him back on an extension, right? Ryu, he was okay last year. Not going to be the ace anymore, so going to have some stuff off his shoulders. We see Manoah coming for his second year, and we'll see if Pearson can actually be good. But I feel like Gausman is now our ace, right? Gausman has shown that he is good. The only problem, though, is that Gausman was not the best in the second half of the year. He had a 4+ ERA in the second half, which is not the best. He did have some experience in the AL, though. Pitching a 4.22 ERA, pitching in the AL for Baltimore. Again, not the best, but it's okay. That was a while ago. He had a lot of time to develop. He's kind of like Robbie Ray, right? He bursted onto the scene this year, became one of the better pitchers in the league. He did have an okay year the year before, going with a 3.62 ERA and a 3-3 record for the Giants. They didn't make the playoffs in the extended playoffs last season, but it's all good. He's 6'2". He is a hard-throwing right-hander. He can get his fastball up in the higher 90s, and that splitter is filthy. It can start right at you and go right in the bottom of the zone. And this guy is just phenomenal, right? He has some good performances in the playoffs, right? He can bat every once in a while. You have to put him in. And yeah, he's looked good. He can pitch really well. I feel like he'll work well with the pitching squad. The only problem, though, with me is that I don't know how he will bounce back the best as he did last year, right? Last year he was phenomenal, obviously, like I mentioned. But the only problem is I don't know if he's going to bounce back. A lot of pitchers, they sign huge deals. They're in their final year of their contract, and they pitch really well to try to get that bag, right? But he got his bag, and now he might let off some steam. He doesn't have to pitch as well. We still obviously want him to. He's still going to pitch well, just not as good as he did last year. His numbers might drop a bit. But if he sees the rise of the playoffs, he might pick it up, chop, and learn what he did last year to do it again near the playoff time, because the Jays have a good chance of making the playoffs. Our next guy that we signed, Yimi Garcia, a former Houston Astros, 6'2", 228 pounds from the Dominican Republic. 31 years old, is a right-handed relief pitcher. Had a 4.21 ERA, a 4-9 record though, which is not very exciting to see. Was a bullpen arm. Did make some starts in the year. Had a 1.162 WHIP. We only signed him for 2 years, $11 million. Has no awards, but it's okay. He is projected to have a lower ERA, a 4.03 ERA, and he's really going to help out this bullpen. One of our biggest problems to start at the year, maybe we cleared it up a bit because we've shown that we have a pretty good bullpen now. We have the Mesas, we have the Romanos, we have the Trevor Richards, right, and the Simbers. All of those guys. Now we add Yimi Garcia. That just adds another one to the list. He just makes us better than before, which is going to help. The only problem, though, is that he's not phenomenal, right? He's good, but not amazing. He is 31, so he's up in there in age. He's going to get old, yes. But he's still not terrible. He did get traded from Miami to Houston. His numbers dropped a lot in Miami for a while, actually. He pitched more than 10 games there. He had a 3.46 ERA and then went to Houston, and the numbers dropped, right? He had some amazing years in Los Angeles, and one of his years he pitched a 3.61 ERA for the year. Phenomenal, right? He will help our depth of our bullpen. He'll help relieve some of the space that you can't put in the Romanos or Mesas in those later games when you need to win. And I feel like he will help out, obviously, a lot, but I feel like that he's a good pitcher. He'll help out this roster, and maybe he can get those innings, right? Our problem a lot was getting into the 8th and 9th and 7, 8, and 9th inning, right? Because our bullpen likes to implode. Yimi Garcia, you add him here. He gives you some depth. You can save your better relief pitchers for later, maybe give you 2 innings. And he's good, right? His stuff is filthy. He has a good fastball, hard-throwing right-hander. And he can be a closer, but more of a relief kind of guy. And, yeah. So for the guys that we did lose Marcus Semien and Robbie Ray. 2 huge pieces last year. Obviously, Ray was phenomenal. Cy Young Award winner. Had one of the best ERAs in the year of 2.84. Had a 13-7 record, 6.7 WAR, which is amazing, a 1.045 WHIP, and 248 strikeouts. Led the league in strikeouts. He had an ERA title. Went to the All-Star game. Phenomenal season for him, obviously. He had a giant bounce-back year. Pete Walker, Charlie Montoyo developed him really well, brought him, because his big problem was his walk. He diminished that. He learned how to not walk players, and now he won a Cy Young. He was amazing, right? We did lose him, though. Only $5 more million than Gausman. Now, I feel like Gausman will go better in age. In 4 or 5 years, I feel like Gausman's contract will look better. Yes, he is only 2 years older than him, but I think his stuff as a kind of specialist kind of guy, not a power thrower, hard-throwing kind of guy, will do better in the long run. Robbie Ray will give the Mariners some good years. If you didn't hear, 5 years, $500 or $115 million to the Seattle Mariners for Robbie Ray. Can't put him down for that, right? He had an amazing year. Again, contract year, showed off. Got his bag, cool. He might have some drawbacks, like I said about Kevin Gausman. But he's still going to be a damn good pitcher, right? You can't drop off that hard into a new year because, well, I don't think we've ever seen that big of just a person who's that bad. But good signing for the Mariners. Obviously, the Jays lose him. Kind of just replaced him with Gausman. I too actually rather Gausman right now than Ray. Gausman, though, the only problem is he pitched phenomenal in the first half. Not the best in the second. That's not what you like to see. But I feel like he'll be good throughout the year. Pete Walker will help him a lot. One of the best pitching coaches in the league. He really helped Robbie Ray with his walk problem. As Gausman had an amazing year, can help him maybe be better in that second half. And I think, personally, better signing than Ray might have been a bit too much money for Gausman, but I think it's okay. He's not the giant strikeout guy. He had 227, still a lot, still really good, but not amazing. He's projected to have a 3.54 ERA, which is pretty good, and he doesn't let up a lot of home runs, though. Only 20 last year, which is not terrible at all. By no means is it bad. Because if you look at it, Ray did let up. He obviously let up a lot of hits, 150 on the year. Didn't let up much home runs in total, though. Never mind. Ray let up 32 homers on the year. Big homer let up guy. Kevin Gausman is the opposite. Another signing that the Jays missed out on. Marcus Semien. He signed 7 years, $175 million to the Texas Rangers. That's a bummer. That is the one guy I'd kind of rather have than Robbie Ray, right? He will play every single day. He'll give you a good second base. He'll give you a shortstop day if Bo Bichette wasn't there. This guy was phenomenal. 45 homers. Batted .265 on the year. Was approaching 300 the whole year. 7.3 WAR. A 133 OPS plus. A 873 OPS. Like, this guy was phenomenal. He slugged .538. Only had 15 He had 15 stolen bases. He can run pretty well. 102 RBIs. This guy was it. And he showed off last year. Contract year. Got signed by the Jays. He got third in the AL MVP. Had a silver slugger. Had a gold glove. This guy was amazing. And he got his bag. I don't see the Jays paying $175 million. I also don't see them getting Marcus Semien for 7 years. 7 years. He's going to be 38 by the end of his contract. Do you really want a 38-year-old Marcus Semien? This contract will look good now, right, in the next 2 years. Him and Corey Seager, obviously he just signed to the Rangers too. They will look good, middle infield. I don't know, there's only one problem though. I don't know, Marcus Semien said he wanted to play shortstop. Probably isn't going to get to play shortstop because he just signed two guys who almost had identical years. Who had to play second base because there's another shortstop. And I don't know who's going to be playing where. It's the Rangers' problem, but I just don't see the Jays paying $175 million. You need to sign Guerrero and Bichette. That's the big things, right? You'd rather have a 25-year-old Guerrero for the rest of his career, 10 more years of greatness, right? And then you can maybe he'll draw down, right? But you'd rather have 10 more years of great Bichette, great Guerrero, than 7 or maybe 4 good years of Semien and a giant contract that won't look good later. Semien probably will have some drawbacks. I don't think you can have that good of a season and make it better in your age 31 season. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? He's 31 right now, 38 when the contract finishes. Comment down below what you think about the signings that the Jays have and if they could have made any differences. If it's a W off season right now, L off season, tell me in the comments below. I want to hear your opinions. Alright, that will do it for our signing recap right now. If you like this, like, subscribe, and comment down below about any of your ideas. All right, see you guys next time. We are going to be doing an NBA recap back on the schedule tomorrow. All right, bye.